Tuesday Newsday!
Good afternoon, folks. The latest blog from CA has just dropped, and that does mean that there is more information on the mysterious lands known as Grand Cathay. First things first, we're getting reassured that Warhammer 3, just like Warhammer 2, is going to have continued support for years, but I don't think that comes as a surprise to anyone, since Warhammer 2 is basically a money printer with that many DLCs that adds up to nearly £300 in value. Now into the Cathay info. So they are of course located in the far east of the Warhammer world, past the Great Maw, which is of course home to the ogres and was more or less created by the mages of Cathay in a response for the ogres eating their children. Fair. Now, previously it was only speculation that it was the Cathayans behind the creation of the Great Maw, but I think with the clear motivation of they were eating their children and the fact that this is basically a confession that this agent, Bill Damders Tench, is going to call this case closed and say, yeah, they probably did it. Now, the lands of Cathay are said to be so large that the combined landmass of the Empire and Bretonia and a whole lot of other nations combined doesn't even compare to its size. The size, of course, comes with a huge population, which is, of course, ruled over by the Celestial Dragon Emperor, the Moon Empress, and their children, who we met last week. The north of their lands is marked by the Great Bastion, which is that huge wall they built, which I guess the trailer last week was taking part along some part of. This wall keeps out the ever-present chaos, which have been the only consistent and serious threat to Cathay over the millennia. With their military strength and immense population, they could rule the entire world if they wished, but they seem to be content with just their lands. That being said, they do defend them at all costs and very ferociously. Their society is based around harmony and working for the Empire to get the best of everyone, and that sure sounds like communism, so if it's possible, I think I'm now even more excited to play as these guys. We have access to 2 new laws of magic, Yin and Yang, and I'm so excited to see exactly how they work, since the only thing that we have so far is that possible guy using them in the trailer, but I thought he was the alchemist since he had a potion in his hand. But again, we'll have to wait and see for more details on this. There's really no info about this online, since basically the lore of Cathay is being written as we speak, so this is going to be pure speculation. The dragon leaders of the factions are described more as teachers and wardens rather than tyrants, so it seems like people want to work and fight for them rather than being forced to through fear or power. Though make no mistake, they are certainly extremely powerful. They're still admired by the people, so their iconography is everywhere, such as in their architecture, military designs, and more, which we'll obviously see in all of the imagery that we've got so far, and I'm sure in many trailers to come. Badmouthing the dragon leaders is a surefire way to get yourself in serious trouble, and if you're an outsider, will most likely get you killed, so it's probably best to respect their way of life, or face the consequences. The dragon leaders most often appear in human form, so maybe they can only assume the dragon form when they are required to in combat, so it's going to be interesting to see exactly how that works, whether it's like a mount that you unlock, but instead of a mount, it's a transformation, or whether it's a transformation that only occurs in battle when a certain prerequisite has been met, kind of like Malice. Either way, I can't wait to get my hands on them and get fighting with them in both forms. Now, the harmony continues into Cathayan combat, as they use the same unity to take out enemies calmly and efficiently. The 2 factions are also going to be in 2 distinct Cathayan areas. Miao Ying, the Storm Dragon, is going to be based to the north in the Great Bastion. Her empire will include the fortress of Nangao, which was never once conquered or sacked, despite being included in many wars. The Great Bastion also dominates a large amount of the northern lands of Cathay, with many gates and patrols keeping your borders safe from chaos, similar to the gate system of Ulthuan. Beyond these gates lie the eastern steppes, which are chaos infested, so probably not the direction you want to go in if you're thinking of taking a vacation. Miao herself is possibly the most powerful dragon alive, aside from her parents, and as Uncle Ben said, with great power comes great responsibility, which results in her coming off a little bit cold and aloof compared to her siblings, but she has got quite a lot going on, so it's only fair. Interestingly, they use the plural of siblings here, so that does indicate that Zhao isn't her only sibling, so I'm sure we'll be introduced to those more and more as the post and of course the trailers, and of course possibly new factions do come out. Zhao Ming, however, is going to be based in the west along the Ivory Road, possibly more concerned with ogres than the forces of chaos. His area is less fortified but less chaotic than his sisters, but he still must deal with a large number of men and beasts of every kind coming from the west, as long as regular bouts with Skaven and ogres from the Warpstone Desert. It does make you wonder what the other unnamed beasts and men are, since we have ogres and Skaven named here, so could this be some other form of beastly faction that we haven't been revealed yet, and what men could it possibly be? Chaos Dwarves, Halflings? We'll have to wait and see. Zhao is a bit less powerful than his sister, but he has a talent for alchemy and it shows in his armies. This is possibly teasing that he gets bonuses for alchemists within his faction, or maybe he even brings unique ones to the table. Again, we don't know, we're just going to have to wait and see to find this out. Having spent so much time so close to the Great Maw and the Warpstone Desert, many fear his mind is tainted from too much exposure, and any sus behaviour sows the seeds of worry among his siblings and of course his empire. Cathay have been around since before even Chaos and the Old Ones, when the OG Celestial Dragon Emperor took human form and united the tribes of men to fight off the growing invasion of Chaos, eventually resulting in the Great Bastion. It's taken many hits over the years but still stands strong. Only the demons of Sinch have managed to infiltrate Cathay, with his cults popping up and causing chaos and rebellion to attempt to take down the empire from within. This is possibly hinting at some sort of cool mechanic for Sinch where you can sow the seeds of rebellions and maybe summon an army within their lands. But again, we're just going to have to wait and see because we have no more information on this. This is just pure speculation. Cathay is also a mighty trade empire with a seemingly infinite supply of riches and pleasures unknown to the outside world. That being said, there's still lots that they can learn from the outside world in the forms of beasts, trinkets, and even technology. They also have had a past war with the Monkey King, who managed to take over power in Cathay and install a Skaven warlord to take care of it for him. This was quickly squashed by the children of the Emperor, and the Monkey King fled south, and no one really knows what happened to him. And I really mean no one, by the way. I can't find shit about this guy online. There's nothing on the wikis. There is nothing in this blog post. There is nothing on the Monkey King. If you click it on the wiki, it just takes you back to the Dragon Emperor page, so I have no idea what this guy is. But if we get a monkey... monkey, I'm all for it, baby. Bring me the Monkey King. As it stands, the Empire is united, but it's uneasy, as many of the smaller factions want to break off. This is likely going to be the reason why, starting as Cathay, you don't have access to this huge chunk of the Empire, and you probably just have, 1, 2, maybe even 3 starting settlements, and then you have to unite them, kind of like the regular Empire mechanic that we have now, or alternatively, squash them and take them out if they won't bend the knee. And yeah, that's about all we have for now. It's just this short little blog post for Tuesday Newsday. Let me know down in the comments below what you think about all this, and if you're excited to play as either one of these Cathayan factions, or alternatively, play against them. If you enjoyed this video at any point, then do be sure to leave a like, and of course, subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Apparently, we're going to get a Tuesday Newsday every week until the game releases, so there's going to be a lot of these types of videos on the channel. So if that's the sort of content that you enjoy, so be sure to stick around, click the sub button, and also hit the bell icon so that you never miss a video. I'd like to thank all supporters of the channel, both here on YouTube as well as on Patreon and over on Twitch. In particular, I'd like to thank Kobe Said So and It's Your Boy LC for their wonderful support and the Unclean Ones tier. Of course, thank you to all other supporters and all of you for watching, and for now, I've been COLONELDAMNEDERS, and I will see you next turn.